Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another collaboration today. Please check out my friends on Instagram, Wolfina5, ladylunaemrys, and our host, digiandromeda. This time, we decided to go with something nostalgic, pre-2000s anime. My first thought was to go with Zex from Gundam Wing, one of my favorites, but I just didn't have the supplies. So then I thought of my wife and her favorites. And so I landed on doing a bit of a redesign of Sailor Mercury from Sailor Moon. Let's get into the concept art. Mercury has a fairly simple face, so I decided to play with her makeup a bit. Or rather, a lot. I've been experimenting with more extreme makeup looks lately. I'm going to use this G3 Monster Ball Draculaura. Honestly, I'm not a fan of her design and only got her for her dress. Her hair is a nappy mess, which is frustrating given she's a new doll. So let's cut it off. Ugh. This hair is disgusting. It's a glittery mess. I'm not saving it this time. You know, Drek doesn't look too bad with the buzz cut. Another thing, this Drek came with a broken neck peg. I didn't do this. There's no piece in her head. I've never seen a defect like this before. Anyway, I took my awl and scraped out the melted hair plugs. This is way harder than it should have been. I got them out in the end without damaging the head. While I hate the old nasty glue method, it is easier to get those plugs out. Let's take her face off. I use 100% acetone. And it's off! Wait a second, let's try again. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but this took so long and a ton of scrubbing. Her face paint just did not want to come off. She wasn't pixelated or anything either. Let's get her head back on. I prefer to paint this way because it's less of a risk of cracking the face later. I then sealed up the hole I had to cut in her head to get the plugs out. Next, I painted her scalp blue. This will help mask things if there's any gaps in her hair later. Next, I tried the plastic wrap and tape method to pattern out her jumpsuit. I rarely use this method because it never seems to work out for me. Usually I end up just having to measure and do math anyway. I switched to duct tape because I can never get masking tape to stick well enough to make the pattern. I did try though. I then traced the pattern onto cardstock. Added seam allowance. And some sewing instructions. Now, I'm guilty of usually just winging it, but I decided to do a mock-up this time to save my good fabric. So I grabbed some old cotton and traced the pattern onto it. I might have forgotten to follow my own instructions at first. Time to sew this together. I use colored thread on these because I can easily see my stitches. I won't on the final product. First, sew the shoulders together. Next, add the back pieces. Now sew up the side seams and the crotch. As you can see, the fit is off. So I thought at first of maybe adding some darts and taking in the sides would fix it. That created this monstrosity. I was incredibly dissatisfied. I drafted a new pattern from her measurements and made a whole new jumpsuit. It worked much better. I then cut a piece of shiny metallic blue fabric for her collar. It fits around her neck like this. Let's make her skirt. This is just a long strip of the same blue fabric. I then pleated the whole thing. As my friend Knox will tell you, do not do this! This is the devil! Seriously though, I thought I was going crazy pinning this thing. I then sewed the pleats down. And it came out like this. Please don't ask me how. This is some kind of black magic. I then attached a strip of white fabric to the top as a waistband. Hemmed up the back and add snaps for closures. Time to paint the stripes on the collar. Sure, I could have embroidered these, but they're just so small. Paint was the better option. I attached the collars, adding a snap to close it, and then glued on 2 bows I made off camera. time for a face. My cat decided to join me for this part. Go away, baby. I love you. I'm sorry about the lighting issues. I didn't notice them until I was editing. Get off of me, baby. I love you. Please stop clawing my legs. This is Comrade. He is one of my 3 sons, and he loves cuddling. This face took me so many tries, guys, it's not even funny. I cut most of it out so you didn't have to suffer through. Her first iteration looked like a clown. I kind of stopped following my concept art at this point and just did what felt right. I dusted on her eyebrows and then used pencils to add tiny hairs to make them look more realistic. So confession time, I started on the acrylics and didn't notice my camera wasn't recording. Sorry! I added tiny details like the wrinkles in her lips. Of course I painted her nails as well. It is part of her transformation sequence after all. Back to pencils to detail the irises and shade the sclera. Be careful doing this on top of paint. It's very easy to scrape it off accidentally if you're too heavy-handed. I then went ahead and scratched on her lashes. I just held my breath and went for it. I then added her pupils and catch lights. And with some gloss, the face-up is done. I chose this chunky blue yarn for her hair. I like this because it's easy to unravel and brush out. Let's make some wefts. I'm not going to show it this time, but I used Hexagon's hot glue method to make these. And boy was I lucky, I made just enough. I then glued them directly to her head. I used hot glue because I'm impatient and didn't want to wait for other glue to dry. Be careful doing this, even with the silicone fingertip, it's very hot and can easily burn you. Create a part by gluing two wefts on backwards and flipping them. With a trim and some styling, it looks like this. She needs gloves, so I made the pattern, then cut them out of some stretchy fabric. It took several tries to get a pair that didn't have giant holes in them. For her boots, I wanted the basis of her original shoes, so I just cut off the rest. Please be extremely careful so you don't cut yourself while doing this. I then tried to paint them blue, only realized I needed to prime them with white first. I then painted them a nice ultramarine. Finally, I added a blue metallic on top of that. For her boots, I cut some large pieces, cut the tops into triangles, and then hemmed them. And then paint on the white stripe. I then sewed the boot around the doll's leg, turned it right sides out, and then put it back on and sewed around the foot before gluing it to the bases. All that's left is her tiara. I twisted it out of wire and then glued a blue gem on it before pinning it to her head. I also added her earrings and choker off camera. I like the stronger makeup look on her. She will not be for sale. But I have plenty of other dolls that need homes in my Mercury and Etsy shops. Feel free to check them out. I thought this would be an easy and straightforward project, but boy was I wrong. It seems the craft gods were against me a lot of the time. It's alright though, in the end we got it done. What do you guys think of her? Thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and be on the lookout for next month's video. It's a big one. Bye bye now.